Welcome back here on this Sunday afternoon. Thank you so much. Once again, thank you to my guests talking about that new National Museum of the Great Lakes here in Toledo. Talking about the right to read. Not only is it a right, but it is a necessity here in Northwest Ohio. A real emphasis being put on our young kids and being sure that they have the literacy goals, not only goals, but also the skills that they need to move on in life. And it's so important. And we've got Charles Schaub joining us today, also Nancy Eames and Lauren Boke, talking about this Ready to Read program for the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Charles, Chuck, let's start off with talking about some of the statistics that are out there. And I want to read something to you and get your reaction on it. A couple of studies that have been done talking about, and you were saying you've seen the statistics as well. Kids are not ready. Kids are not ready as far as moving on grade to grade, especially here in Ohio. You guys look at that and you say, that's troubling.
It is troubling, and what we're focusing on are the real young children. And if they hit kindergarten and they're not ready to learn and to be part of the program, they fall behind. And statistically, I think about a third of the children in Lucas County fall into that category. And once they fall behind, they very seldom ever catch up. So we're talking about devastating consequences from having these children not be prepared. And we're really focusing on trying to get as much preparation as possible. And when you're looking at young children, we're focusing on caregivers, parents, and other people that are involved with the development of those children and trying to give them the tools that they can work with the children to get them prepared. The children at that age aren't really able to do it themselves, so we have to focus on the caregivers and make sure that they have the tools and the ability to come in and help those children and get them as prepared as possible.
But it really does start not only, and we don't want to just put it all, the onus all on the parents. I mean, it's really a community effort as well, isn't it?
It really is, and this new library program will focus on parent and child care provider education. We'll give adults who are with children every day ideas, tips, and tools. Our training comes with a kit full of materials that will help parents and child care providers.
And once again, more information at ToledoLibrary.org if you want to read up about it. We've got this little vehicle here on our set, not life scale right there, but we've been out. We've seen the bus that is traveling around already, started earlier this month. But I guess, Lauren, talk a little bit about the approach on making this thing mobile, making a library mobile to get out.
Well, basically we want to go all around Lucas County and find families, wherever they may be, who maybe haven't been coming to the library, maybe they haven't been using their library cards, maybe something's been keeping them away, be fines or travel concerns. By coming to them, we can give them a chance to check out our collection, get signed up for a card, help their children get signed up for a card, and then we can also do early literacy trainings with the parents where they can get the kits filled with materials that they can use with their children. And we talk a lot about how getting your child ready for kindergarten, getting your child ready to learn to read is really easy, and it's very, very fun. And just by doing the things that you're already doing at home, but adding a few different dimensions to it can really, really help the parents get their children ready.
You bring up the word access, and obviously this is one of those things. And reading over some of the materials before this interview, I was taken by the fact of the playtime is important with the kids, but grabbing for that book. Especially for the little ones, and there really aren't any cutoffs as far as ages are concerned, Chuck, but we're looking to start early, right?
Absolutely, starting early, and I think the library is particularly well positioned to do this work. We have branches throughout the county, and we found that this is a problem that is county-wide. There are some areas that there's a higher concentration, but there are children throughout the county, every school district essentially, that show up and they're not prepared, not ready to learn. And as I said earlier, that's devastating for them long term. So I think the library is particularly well positioned to help in this program.
A couple of things that grabbed my attention, online reports talking about how the dropout rate as reading becomes more of a problem throughout school, there's an increase in dropout. It's like the two meet at the middle, because if reading isn't happening early on, the dropout rate gets sooner and sooner. And obviously we're trying to combat that. Talk as well about the e-readers that are out there. I know the Toledo-Lucas County Public Library System has done a lot of work over the last couple of years in trying to keep up with technology. And there are some reports out there saying the e-readers take the attention away from getting those books and sitting down. Is what they're going to find on these buses the physical, open the pages, go page to page kind of books?
Books are definitely the focus.
Yeah.
Although iPad training is a component of our program. Quality media use can make a difference for children as well. And so we'll offer play groups where we bring iPads and talk about good apps and good ways to use technology. Really, I think the key is interaction.
Yeah.
If you're talking with your child about media use, you're building their vocabulary, you're teaching them about story structure. It's not about just handing them a device and walking away.
When you guys look at this as a group and you say, Chuck, you bring up 1/3 of Lucas County kids are not prepared as far as reading is concerned. What do you guys pinpoint as far as how we got to this point? Why is it that bad? I mean, is there any way to kind of hone in on that?
I think the difficulty is that people have less time with their children. A lot of children are in the hands of caregivers that maybe don't have as much training as we would like. And I think society has changed considerably, and we're trying to come in and address that gap and hopefully provide the tools. I think everyone wants their children to be as successful and as educated as they can be, and all the caregivers are trying to provide that also. But we're here to say, here are some tools that will help you. And we're also trying to get to people that aren't on the radar screen particularly, that kind of outside of the system. They don't show up at the library, they don't show up at the Y, they don't show up at the Boys and Girls Clubs. And the van will give us an opportunity to go to very untraditional places and try and access those people and get them into the system and to provide some resources that will help their children be prepared when they get to school.
As far as contacting you and trying to get that van to show up in my community, my neighborhood, how do people go about doing that?
They can just call us at Outreach Services. Myself and my partner, Kristen Brown, we take all of the phone calls and get in touch with the families, try to find out what would be most convenient to meeting with them, and then we just...
Are you getting calls?
We are. We're getting calls. We're nice and busy, so we want to stay busy. And give us a call, and we'll just drive on out to your neighborhood. We'll meet you at a neighborhood branch or anywhere else that's convenient if the library isn't the best place. And so that's really, we're just trying to get the word out so that we can start meeting with families.
What is the emotional? I mean, just when people are calling, and obviously they want to do good for their kids. What are you hearing?
Well, so far everyone's just really curious about what our training is about, what the kits are about, and then all of the parent trainings that we've done thus far have just been so much fun. We've gotten to know a lot of great families with a lot of wonderful children, and we just have had a great time getting to talk about how parents, it's so easy every day by doing 5 practices of talking, singing, reading, writing, and playing, and we're giving them wonderful materials that they can use with their children and just have fun. And I think that that's really what it is about when you're parenting, is sitting down and having a great conversation with your kids and enjoying being with them, and it goes a long way for both the parent and the child. So it's been great so far.
Lauren, Nancy, and Chuck, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Once again, if you want to learn more about this program, you can go to ToledoLibrary.org, the website right there. Chock full of information, also the ability for you to find free, as you see, e-media there. It is the wave of the future. We will be right back here on the Roundtable for the Sunday. Wrap things up right after this.